lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. Here's Ryan. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Levante David making his presence felt in the backfield. Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
On 3rd down, Smith. And an alley to run. Got some real estate inside the 30. And finally taken down at the 20-yard line. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
So that's what that elbow in my ribs was all about. You thought they were going to throw the ball as well.
Absolutely. I think everybody thought they were throwing the football. Caught him off guard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, when you have the courage to make that type of a play call, a lot of times you actually get rewarded.
Check 3. Smooth. Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4, Mike 5-4. Mike, watch the pass. Gun. Here we go.
On 1st and 10, it's Ryan. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. A 20-yard touchdown as his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
And this is obviously quite a performance. And most of the time when we talk about someone putting a team on their back, I think we're talking about a guy who runs the football. In this case, it's a guy out wide catching it, and he's done exactly that, truly leading his team right now towards victory.
3 touchdown catches. He's been the headliner. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down. The Bucs on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. To throw is Winston. Airing this one out for Evans. It's caught inside the 25. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Mike Evans with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Bucs are able to cut into that deficit. Winston now. This will be caught at about the 6. And he will get into the end zone to cut the lead a little bit further. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And a good job here by the Falcons, their hands team, able to recover it. 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
A big chunk of yardage there, 37 yards.
Hey, express. 54. I got one. 61.
Now it's Ryan. And that'll be hauled in by the tight end. It's Hooper for the Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper, his 6th touchdown of the season as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
23 yards on the play. Now a play fake here on first down. Airing this one out for Evans. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. It's a big play. Winston to Evans. 43 yards. From the red zone now, Winston. And he's into the end zone for a Tampa Bay touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown. And the Bucs are able to cut in now to that deficit. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And that will shave one more off this lead. And they've got it. They recovered it. But hang on now, though. There's a penalty flag down. So they touched it before it went 10, and that's obviously not going to help their comeback bid here in the fourth.
No, not at all. And they're trying to get something going after one there. But you've got to give yourself a chance. Let it go 10 before you touch it.
Pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. They'll run it again with Smith. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Ito Smith, his second touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. The extra point up and good, and the lead will swell by one more. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. And the Falcons grab it. And a great return here gets this one all the way down to the 26-yard line.
We got it. We got it. Ready. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. I got one.
They'll run on first down. Griffith. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Brings up 2nd and 9 at the 25-yard line.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Griffith. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and no more. No gain on the play there, so that doesn't help. Now they're looking up at a 3rd and 9 situation.
Recon, 132 fighter. Wide, get wide. Get up.
On 3rd down, Ryan. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And solid field position here to start as they get it out to the 40-yard line.
Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
A nice burst there as they'll get about 7 that time on the first down run. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Brings up 2nd and 3.
Again, it's Jones. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That'll go as a loss of 5. And that's going to lead to a 3rd down. Flushed out right. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, picks him.
I think that interception happened for two reasons. Quarterback gets outside the pocket and panics a little bit, and receiver doesn't make sure he's absolutely in an open spot. So there's a guy lurking, took the ball from him.
Yeah, so don't wave your arms, right, as a receiver if you're not wide open.
Got to know that you're open. Otherwise, just don't do it.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Falcon football as we welcome you back. They've got a second down now as they look to salt this one away.
Ryan on the keeper. A loss of a yard. It's now 3rd and 13.
Double time. Alert. 3 down.
And they take a knee.
Ryan on the keeper.
Here's Pat O'Donnell now as he's on to punt for Atlanta. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
36.
They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. They'll go again to Jones. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it with 14 seconds to go in the game. On 3rd down, here's Jones. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. And a loss of 3 to bring up 4th. Now look at this, 4th and 12, and they're going to line up to go for it.